All right, we're going to work on a low back sequence. Something to just open up our backs, get us feeling good. We're going to do a couple different things. It's not going to necessarily be a super flowy class. It's going to be a little bit disjointed as we move between some poses, but it's really going to be focused on helping that back. So we're going to start standing, and what I want us to do is I want us to just find that mountain pose, that nice grounded pose. So your feet are going to be hip distance apart, or maybe big toes touching, whatever feels best for you. And feel the bottom of your feet. Spread your toes apart, really ground in. Allow yourself to come into contact on each point on the bottom of that foot with your mat. And then allow that grounding to travel up your legs, getting to your knees, allowing those knees to strengthen, and then coming into your thighs, and allowing your thigh bones then to rotate in towards the midline, separating out through that low back, creating space. Now allow that grounding to continue through your midsection. The bowl of your pelvic region and the bottom of your rib cage, allow that to open and expand. And as you do that, your shoulders become out of joint, you lift up, so allow them to pull down towards the back, pulling down. And you might be a little out of whack. You can see sometimes I have one side a little higher than another. We all have things going on in our body, and that's okay. Just bring yourself as much into balance as you can. And then bring your chin at 90 degrees, holding here. And now when you're ready, I want you to inhale and bring your hands up, reach towards the ceiling, interlace your fingers, point your fingers, pointing in steeple, maybe even gaze up, and then slowly bend to the right, stretching through the left side of the body. And then come back to center, and slowly bend to the left, stretching through the right side of the body. And then come back to center, and now a nice little back bend. So reaching up and towards the back, and then come back to center. And now bring your hands apart, uninterlace, release your fingers, and on an exhale, I want you to forward fold. So go ahead, slowly come forward, bringing your hands down to the ground, relaxing in, and just ragdoll here. Grasp opposing elbows, let your head relax down, and just maybe move side to side, rocking nice and easy, nice and slow. And then come back to center, release your hands to the ground, and on your next inhale, bring them all the way back up. Reach, 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 reach. And exhale, bring them down to the side. Beautiful. All right, now I want you to bring your feet wide on the mat. So we're going to have one full leg distance between those feet. And for those of you who normally follow me in my classes, the sequence is a little bit different. We're not starting seated, we're starting standing up. So, but that's okay, it's good for our brain to do things a little differently. So bring your arms out to T, and then turn your right toes so that that right foot is perpendicular to the left foot, and it's reaching towards, or it's pointing towards the right side of the room. And then hinge at that right hip, and bring that right hand down, left hand comes up. Just get a good opening through this left side of the body. And if you notice yourself start to cave in, you can even bring your hand to that rib cage and just pull yourself back, bring that arm back up. Trying to create a nice straight line from this bottom hand to the top hand. You can rest that bottom hand on that shin or ankle, bring it to a block, whatever works. And then gazing up at that top hand, getting into the neck. And now slowly reach that left hand towards the left side, rise back up. Bring those right toes in. Left toes are going to turn, pointing now towards the left side of the room. We're going to hinge at that left hip, reaching that left hand forward and bringing it down, right arm comes up. Same thing here, resting that hand on that shin, turning to gaze at that upper hand, breathing in and out. If you want to open that chest and belly a little more, reach that hand up. Quieten your mind, quieten your thoughts. And then slowly rise back up, hands out to the side. Turn both toes in, bring your hands to your waist, and step your feet together. All right, now we're going to turn towards the front of the mat. We're going to come into a balance pose. We're going to do warrior three. So this is a low back sequence, but I want us to challenge our body, build strength by focusing on balance. So we're going to build strength into each of those legs in this warrior three. So I want you to come into warrior three, maybe step your right foot forward, and then lift that left foot off and hold it wherever it's steady. Maybe bring your hands to heart center. This is a good way to feel grounded in this pose as you deepen in. And then as you're able to, just allow that foot to come up, allow your upper body to come down. Try to keep as straight of a line as you can from your head to your toe. Breathing through. And if you feel really balanced, you can release your hands. They could come out, getting a spinal extension here. Breathing through. And then slowly bring that foot back, bring the hands back, step together. Now let's do the other side. So again, I'm going to step back on my mat so that I can step forward with that left foot, raise that right leg up, and begin to come in to that pendulum. Almost like a nice straight rod is going from your heel all the way to the crown of your head, levering yourself so that you flow nice and easy, breathing through. Whew. Hard to talk and hold your balance. And then slowly come back. And bring your feet together. All right, those are some good standing poses, nice strengthening. We're going to come down to the mat now and work more specifically on our back. So we're going to bring ourselves towards the front, feet hip distance apart, or again, big toes touching, that would be fine. Nice mountain grounding here. And when you're ready, on an inhale, bring your arms up and reach them towards the sky. And now when we exhale forward fold, I want you to swan dive. Bring your arms to the side. This is a little less pressure on the back when you swan dive. And then inhale to a straight back, gazing forward. And exhale, forward fold, hands down. Walk your feet back to downward facing dog. And I want you to hold downward facing dog for a few breaths here. Maybe pedal your feet out. Spread all 5 fingers apart. Distributing that weight evenly between the base of your palm and your fingers. Breathing through. And now come back. Bring your knees down to the mat. Come onto all fours. And I want you to set your hands so that they're stacked under your shoulders, knees are stacked under your hips. Now we're going to do a couple poses here on all fours. Listen to your body as you do these. With any practice, everybody has their own unique needs. So I want you to make sure you're honoring your body's needs through this practice. We're going to begin with some cat-cow. Now, sometimes people move too fast through cat-cow and it can kind of disrupt that pelvic rotation. So I want you to be mindful. And when we come in between from moving from cat to cow, I want you to pause at neutral, so just in table, that's neutral, before you continue in the pose. So I want you to inhale, dip that belly down, lift that head up, and exhale, round the spine, lifting those shoulders, and making sure you're pausing for the briefest second in between. And then inhale and pause briefly, dip that belly down, head comes up, gazing steady down my nose, and exhale, pausing briefly, and then lifting those shoulders up. One more time, inhale, dipping that belly down, brief pause in there, and exhale. And the pause might even be just momentary, rising back up. And now come back to neutral. Now let's move ourselves back to child's pose. If your knees bother you in child's pose and you can't hold this very well, you can try a couple things. You can bring a blanket in between your shin and your thigh, or you can come into puppy dog. Arms extend out, chin towards the mat. I personally think this is much more challenging, but it definitely doesn't cause you to bend your knees as much. And then wherever you're at, child's pose or puppy, or some version in between, come back to all fours. Now I want you to reach your right arm forward, extending it towards the front of the room or to the left side or the right side of the room, however you're oriented. And then left leg lifts up, flex those toes down. Breathing through a nice spinal extension. And then bring that right hand down. Keep that left leg lifted and move it up and down. So here we're just engaging the glute. A lot of times low back pain can come from tight hamstrings. Maybe we're not using our glute muscles when we should be. So just waking them up and saying, hey, come on, do your job. I know you're there. Giving them a little exercise here. And then make circles with that hip. And now go the other way. And then come back to center. Bring that knee down, and let's do the other side. Left arm extends out, right leg lifts, flex those toes down towards the mat. Nice spinal extension, keeping that neck nice and neutral, gazing at your mat. And then bring that left hand in, right leg stays extended out, and move it up and down. Saying good morning, right glute. Breathing through. And just notice the difference from one side to the other. And now let's make circles, getting into that hip. And now the other way. And then back to center. Now bring that knee down and then scoot back to child's pose, puppy dog, whatever version, somewhere in between, or even just staying in tabletop. In child's pose, arms can extend out or they can come alongside the body. Sometimes I like this much better. It's a different expansion in the spine. And now bring your hands back forward, lift up to all fours, and now we're going to slowly scoot around to our bottom, shifting so our feet are flat on the mat, knees are bent. We're going to lower down to the ground, and we're going to do some low back work. So hands behind you, and begin to lower down to your forearms. If you'd like to make this more challenging, you can always choose to come into boat pose and lower down, or lift your legs up and then lower them down. Choosing whatever version works for you. The end goal is to have yourself down on the mat and bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. And then coming back to center, go ahead, lower your feet down, walk them one full leg distance, or to one leg on each long edge of the mat. Bring your arms out to T. Let your knees fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Breathing in and out. And then bring your knees up. Let them fall to the left. Turn your head to the right. And then bring your knees up. Walk your feet in so they're hip distance. Arms alongside the body again. Right ankle crosses over the left knee. Right hand on that right knee. Push it towards the back of the room. And then release. Lift that left foot off the mat. Interlace your fingers behind that left shin or thigh. Move side to side. Reverse pigeon. So this is good for back pain because it opens up that sciatica. A lot of back pain can come from sciatica pain also. This is just getting into that deep piriformis muscle, nice stretch. That can sometimes run alongside that sciatica nerve, causing it to press against the nerve if it's inflamed or tight. So this can just open up through there. And then release, bring that foot down, uncross that ankle, left ankle cross over the right knee, left hand presses against that left knee, relax, lift that right foot off the mat, interlace your fingers behind that right shin, right thigh, and move side to side. Same thing here, reverse pigeon. And being mindful to keep those right toes flexed towards you. And then coming back to center, bring that foot down, unclasp your hands, uncross that right ankle or left ankle, and go ahead, bring both knees back into your chest and rock side to side. Breathing through. And then coming back to center, go ahead, bring your feet flat to the mat. And now bring the right knee into your chest, extend the left leg all the way out and lower it to the ground. Now take that right knee, bring it out to the right side. Use your right hand to support that knee. Left hand can come on top of that left thigh. So just getting into the hip here. And then bring that knee back up. Bring it across the body, left hand to the outside of that right knee, right arm out to T. Breathing through. And then coming back to center, bring that knee into your chest, extend that leg all the way up to the ceiling, grab your toe or interlace your fingers behind the shin, wherever your reach allows, and lift your head up towards that knee as you pull that leg in towards your body, stretching through the back of this leg. And then slowly lower down, bring that knee into your chest, bring the left knee up to meet it, rock side to side for a moment, and let's get ready for the other side. So left knee stays into the chest, right leg extends all the way out to the ground, right hand resting on top of that right thigh. Left knee opens to the left side, left hand supporting that knee, breathing in and out. Softening through, getting into the hip before we get a twist through the back. And now bring that left knee up, bring it across the body, right hand to the outside of that left knee, left arm out to T, and twisting through, turning your head to the left. And then slowly coming back to center, bring that knee into your chest, and now extend it up towards the ceiling, grabbing your toe or interlacing your fingers behind the shin or the thigh. Right hand, if you're grabbing your toe, is going to rest on top of that right thigh. Lift your head up towards that knee, pull that leg in towards your head, stretching through the underside of that leg. Breathing in and out, continuing to manage that inhale and exhale through the nose. And then slowly lower down, bend at the knee, bring it into your chest, bring the right knee up, rock side to side. Now let's get ready for happy baby. So we're going to bring our feet straight up into the air. We're going to grab our toes, or we're going to grab the outside edge of the feet, and we're going to just rock side to side, bringing our knees closer to our chest, moving back and forth. Happy baby. Sometimes you should laugh in happy baby. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Breathing through. Sometimes in happy baby, I like to extend one leg out, pull one in, and then alternate. Or I just like to hold this, trying to bring my low back to the ground, bring my knees closer to my chest. Breathing through. And then release. Bring your knees into your chest all the way, rock side to side. And now come back to center, bring your feet flat to the mat. And we're going to come in to a nice opening pose for the outside of the hips. So I want you to bring the soles of your feet together and just allow your knees to open to the side. Breathing through. If you need, this is a good pose to use props with. You can bring a blanket or a block, tuck it right underneath the outside of that thigh. Just breathing through. Sometimes I even like to bring one hand to my chest, one hand to my belly, and just really focus on the breath here. Relaxing in. And remember, this is your practice. If this isn't a pose that feels very good for you, or if it's something that causes pain, and it's not the pain that is like, oh, I haven't stretched this in a while. It's the pain of, ooh, this is probably not right. Sharpshooting pain is usually what I say watch out for. If you have a bad pain with this, definitely don't stay in it. Come out of it, readjust, maybe do some yoga bicycles for a minute. And now bring one hand to each underside of your hip, to the outside of that thigh, and slowly letting your hands do most of the work, bring your legs back together. And now I want you to bring your knees into your chest, one at a time, rock side to side. And now let's do some yoga bicycles. Now if you have low back pain, sometimes yoga bicycles don't feel good, but sometimes they feel amazing because it moves that SI joint. So it just depends on where your pain's coming from. So listen to your body. So bring that right knee in, extend the left leg out, hover it 2 inches above the ground. Then bring the left knee in, extend the right leg out, hover it 2 inches above the ground. Then bring the right knee in, extend the left leg out, hovering 2 inches above the ground. And right knee in, extend the left leg out, hovering 2 inches above the ground. Now both knees into your chest, rock side to side. Breathing through. And then coming back to center, go ahead, lower your feet to the mat. And now we're going to get ready for bridge pose. So in your bridge pose, I want you to bring your feet so they're hip distance apart. And if you have a block, bring a block between your knees. Otherwise, try to keep your knees nice and stable. Sometimes people's knees come out a little bit. We want to keep that nice, steady, balanced posture here. So hands are facing palms down to the mat. And when you're ready, on an inhale, lift that core up, extending towards the ceiling. And if it feels good to do so, bring your fingers underneath, interlace, and rise up so you're almost on your shoulders. It's getting that core lifted just a little bit more. And stay with the breath here, breathing through. Softening in. And then slowly lower down, release your hands. Reposition your body, bring your knees into your chest, and rock side to side. Breathing through. And now let's come into L, a nice restorative pose. And if you can just hold your legs like this, that's fine. If you need a little support, bring your hands underneath that lower back. This makes it a little less challenging to hold your legs up there. Breathing through. And for some of us, we may want to come into shoulder stand. So I'll scoot down to demonstrate that. So you can either hold an L, or you can bring your legs straight up, hands to your back, supporting your back. My kids call this candlestick. Nice restorative pose. Now everybody bring your knees in towards your chest, and then extend your legs out in front of you into plow. Now if you're in L, just keep your knees into your chest, maybe rock side to side. Some people like this with low back pain. Plow, it can stretch through the back of your legs a little bit. And then begin to slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Staying with the breath. And again, if you were in L and your knees are in your chest, just leave them there for a moment. And once that lower back comes down to the ground, begin to lower your legs down. So those in L, extend your legs up towards the ceiling and begin to lower them down. Now if this is bothering you, and if it's too challenging for your core right now, or if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can just bring your knees in and then extend one leg out at a time. Otherwise, just continue to lower your feet down, getting closer and closer to your mat until they finally reach and rest. Once you come into Shavasana, legs are extended out, arms are extended out. Sometimes with back pain, it doesn't feel good to lie flat on the floor. Shavasana is a pose like any other, so we can adapt and modify it. If it doesn't feel good, bring your feet up, bring one to each long edge of the mat, and then let your knees fall in together. This feels much nicer on that low back. Close your eyes, just allow yourself to soften in. And allow yourself to come into that Shavasana, quieting your mind, quieting your thoughts, breathing through. Feeling the support of the mat underneath you, feeling the quiet in the space. And as always, you have the option to stay here if you'd like. I give you permission right now to turn off the sound, turn off the video, turn off the phone, however you're watching it, and just allow yourself to stay in this Shavasana, stay in this moment. For everyone else, slowly, if your knees are up, go ahead, try to extend your legs. Maybe just for a moment it feels okay. And on an inhale, bring your hands up, reach them towards the ceiling. Exhale, everybody lower their hands above their head and stretch your body here, reaching your toes, reaching your fingertips. And then relax. Bring your knees up one at a time. Feet flat. Position your arms however it's comfortable and slowly roll to your right side. Curling yourself into a ball, resting on your bicep. Breathing through. And then with that left hand, press it into the mat, lift yourself up, come to a seated position, orient yourself so that you're comfortable. And then as you settle in, find your breath again, bring your palms together at heart center, and just listen to that even inhale and exhale. And just allow yourself to come back to that breath throughout the week, throughout the day, throughout the month. Just always coming back whenever things are challenging, knowing that that breath is there to give you calm, to bring you back to center. Thank you for your practice, and namaste. Never mind, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do any more yoga today, even though I should film more. I'm too tired.